I'll turn up with my vaccine. Do I vaccinate your cow? You say, no, I leave you and move on. And remember,
can I explain?
Just hold on. Just hold on. You are here to answer questions. Yes.
Today, that is something that is growing, and if you go to the supermarkets, is happening. But we must also remember,
what is it that you are likely to do? Because food is expensive today in Kenya. Production of it is expensive. And more importantly, it's because of the scale of production.
What do you intend to do to improve the domestic market links and information systems within the market?
So how are you going to intervene so that you ensure that our farmers being horticultural also can benefit from this?
What is it that you are likely to do? Because food is expensive today in Kenya. Production of it is expensive. And more importantly, it's because of the scale of production that is low. So in a sense, food must be expensive. As the nominee for the Ministry of Agriculture, what is it that you are likely to do so that we expand the envelope of agriculture food production? And at the same time, what is it that you are likely to do so that there is incentive for farmers to actually feel that, yes, I can produce more maize, I can produce more potatoes? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Mule.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My concern is what he began with, that is the marketing. And I want to put it clear to you that the country faces challenges in marketing, leakages and distribution of produce, especially from the local farmers and small farmers, to brokers who take advantage of the fragmented distribution chain to enrich themselves. What do you intend to do to improve the domestic market links and information systems within the market? And last, Mr. Speaker, your predecessor sat there and I asked him about the tea issue in Mombasa. And he promised that committee, once he is approved, he'll deal with the issue within weeks. Up to today, maybe that's why he has been deployed to be an ambassador.
Mr. Chairman, I want first to start with admitting that the pyrethrum sector that Honorable Mokami referred to is in a mess. I would, to put it any other way, would be to do the proverbial ostrich, thing and bury my head to the ground. And the only thing I can say is, broadly speaking, it is an area I intend to sit with the industry itself, the entire industry, and unravel whatever has been bedeviling it since almost independence. Since the Americans got out who are buying this pyrethrum of ours, we have never quite recovered in the pyrethrum sector. And all I can say is that I will need time to sit with them so that we can resolve whatever issues exist with them. I do not have the silver bullet with me right now. The second thing is on the issue of dairy farmers. I think I spoke at length about the industry to the extent, and I think it's the Honorable Junet who raised it, that I have to work with the marketing agencies, particularly the cooperative ministry, in order for us to streamline. But for me, there are a couple of things that we can do anyway in agriculture. The first thing is that I said, and to begin with, and perhaps that is what I'll eventually end with, that we have to put money in the farmer's pocket. If, for example, and I'm referring to coffee because you have raised it, not because, and I grew up there, so I know a little bit more about it. Coffee, for instance, was biggest challenge has always been the gap between the farmer and the market. The fact that you grow coffee and give it to somebody, you have no idea how much you have sold it at. You have no idea who is going to process it. You have no idea where it is going. We must face in order for it. But the other thing is the productivity per acre. You know, the aspect of the quality, the quantity of produce. Again, even if you look at both coffee and tea sector, if you look at the sugar sector, what you'll find is that the private sector players can produce a ton within, within 1 metric ton can come. They have got a ratio of 10 to 1 for the private sector and 15 to 1 for the government sector, which informs also what Honorable Junet was talking about. So I think that that linkage between efficiency, private sector, the buyers, and the farmer is the solution to our problem. Mr. Chairman, on the issue of Russo talking about Mheshimiwa protect his cow or to protect his herd at all, if the alternative is that the herd is going to die. What has been missing is a communication and engagement with that person so that they understand exactly what the stakes are. And that choices, if we increase that figure over a period of about 3 to 4 years, say for example, cover 90%. So my intention is not as it were, to say that I have given people a choice and then kept back, slept on it. It is to make sure that the communication in which we are executing will make sure that the farmer is ready to do what he needs to do to protect his livestock. And I commit myself to that.
That's not what you said earlier.
I said, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman,
Nominee, earlier you said, I will turn up with my vaccine. Do I vaccinate your cow? You say, no, I leave you and move on. And remember,
can I explain?
Just hold on. Just hold on. You are here to answer questions. Yes. You turn up with your vaccine. The farmer says, I'm not interested. You leave the cow and go to the next. Now, the cow you have left behind is bearing a disease that will infect the one that you have vaccinated next door. So is that how you want to run the ministry, or you have vacated that position?
Mr. Chairman, I have not vacated that position. Let me explain. Don't take it too literally. I think that is the problem.
That's what you say.
What I'm saying, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, is this. I said, and I repeat, nobody is going to be forced. You cannot go and force a farmer with a gun or whatever it is to go there and tell a farmer, you must absolutely vaccinate this cow or else I'm going to take you to a police station. That is not the way to approach the issue. The choice that I have created, Mr. Chairman, is a choice where you are saying, listen, there is no force of vaccinating your cow. However, if you don't want us to vaccinate it, we can leave it. However, these are the problems that you are going to incur. And that is why I'm saying, Mr. Chairman, nobody with the proper communication is going to make that choice. What you cannot do is go there at gunpoint and tell somebody. You can imagine the kind of fighting you might have with some people, with pangas and so on, if you try that system. So all I'm saying, Mr. Chairman, and don't take it too literally, is that we will give people a choice, but we will make sure that they make the right decision.
Mule, the last one from Mule.
I'd ask.
Products from our neighbors.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Chairman. Yes, on the issue of the East African situation, it's a challenging one, Mheshimiwa Mule, because we have got the East African Protocol, which has given us certain conditions. We have got the COMESA Protocol, which has also given certain conditions. And the only way for us to work on this issue is to make sure that our cost structure is not as high as it is. In other words, if we are putting this, and perhaps what the government has started in terms of subsidies, subsidizing fertilizers and subsidizing other farm inputs, can assist us in bringing down our cost of production so that our people, the prices of our goods are not, do not exceed those ones of Uganda and Tanzania. We have got quotas, And I think there's a discussion between the East African countries that has got to be done, because don't forget that even as we complain about what they are bringing in, they too are complaining about what we are taking there and the balance of payment issues between the East African nations. So I think eventually it will come to an equilibrium, but I think on our part, on my part, my role and my job is to try and make sure to mitigate the circumstances so that we are producing at an affordable rate where we can both make money for the farmer, but also make sure that the consumer is not advancing for the importation of others because they are cheaper than their own products. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. A few questions from the public.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes,
he didn't answer the second part of my question
which is
on the issue
food
of
security.
ASAL.
the ASALs.
Yes.
I think I'd spoken a little bit about that issue of food security and the issue of ASAL region. But let me just quickly wrap what I had said. I had said that we need a huge infusion of our research organizations in those areas, particularly the arid and semi-arid areas, because the farming in the area we have got to bring products that are conducive to the climate. The climate won't change. So it is our climate, it is our products that must change to suit the climate. If it is the question of damming, and I said earlier that I would work with the Ministry of Irrigation, the Ministry of Water and Irrigation, to ensure that we are doing more dams that we are. Some county governments have done a fantastic job in terms of creating water funds, for example, that can be used both for crop as well as livestock support. But I think there is more to be done, and I think that I will work with the county governments that are in place and see where the support that we can give in terms of creating these disease-resistant crops, drought-resistant crops. And I think I've spoken to that issue a little bit earlier. And you are right. If we don't address, the semi-arid area has to be in the future the main farming area, because it is a larger part of Kenya. But we also have seen countries in the world that are within very dry areas making huge production. I mean, Egypt, we have got Israel, we have got countries around us that we can copy. Australia and so on. So we can do it. It's a question of the political will and the time to do it.
Thank you. Mishi?
Mr. Speaker.
Mishi's question about
Yeah,
the planned crops of the coasts,
Yeah, Chairman.
coconut, Bixa. Did you answer that?
And Chair, also
Yeah,
the-
Chairman.
Yes.
Just on the same breath, there is one section of farmers which you have not addressed, and I want to talk about it to ask the question on the horticultural farming. There is this question, and it is some challenges, especially the stringent international standard which they are facing. The other one is the Ethiopian's fledgling cut flower industry. So how are you going to intervene so that you ensure that our farmers doing horticultural also can benefit from this?
Chair, if we can respond to the issue of the bulk tea at the port of Mombasa. I know it is serious issue whereby it is holding serious economic background to this country. And we really need very clear directive from him when he takes off the ministry. Because last time we were given 2 months to handle it. It's still there. And
Thank
farmers
you.
are suffering.
Nominee?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. My understanding, Mheshimiwa, is that, and this is something that I had consulted even with my predecessor on the matter, is that the Munyi-led team has done a substantial amount of work in terms of reducing the quantity that was there lying at the port. I understand there was almost 100,000 metric tons, and right now they are probably talking about some 20 to 30 remaining. That's my understanding from where I sit. So because of the changes that they made in terms of the fixing or the removal of the fixing of the prices, I think that the situation is easing away. But this is something I can only talk about from what I have been informed. This is something I need to be there to see. But I'm aware of it. I am aware. I have been looking privately on my own about what is going on in there. I happen to know the committee people as well. So I'll make sure that I get involved as much as I can. I do not wish to give a week or two because I don't know the intricacies of the issue. But I can guarantee you that I'm going to get into the thick of it as quickly as I can. On the issue of horticultural farming and stringent international standards, yes, it is true that we are facing stringent international standards, but I think the horticultural sector is faced with both local and international hostilities that we can deal with. For example, on the export side, that's one of the areas that I know they have been complaining about. It has been there, is common knowledge in the newspapers, talking about the many small taxes and deductions and all these things that they have to do. And that's what I refer to as supporting. We need to support them, remove some of those things, export more, and then you can tax on the income taxes, and you recover your money through the volumes, not through the initial prohibitive taxes. And of course, on the issue of the international trading space, within the World Trade Organization and other organizations, I think that working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and of course Trade is a question of ensuring that the conditions that we are getting from particularly the European Union, because that is where most of these products are going, and also diversifying our market so that we don't depend only on Europe. I think there are various other markets that we have not critically looked at that we can, to make sure that we become competitive. Part of the reason why our competitors can fix us and give us stringent measures is because they know you don't have a choice. But when they know that you have a choice and you can deny them those beans, they will listen to what you are saying.
Yes, thank you. Europe has now given us quota-free, duty-free. Yeah. So it's now for you, if you are approved, to ensure that standards are maintained.
Thank you, sir.
Some Kenyan has sent this question. How do you plan to promote and expand feedlot farming in Kenya as a strategy to improve animal productivity? Another one. How do you plan to address productivity limitations, enhance Kenya's food security, and prepare the agricultural sector to meet the rising demand for diverse food products, such as fish, dairy, and meat? And the last one is, you've not told the House what you have ever given back to Kenya as a Kenyan.
Thank you, sir. I think I'll start with the last one. To say that, Mr. Chairman, as an elected member of Parliament and as a parliamentarians in public service, all you do, and I'm sure the honorable members around me will agree, is give and give and give. I think that is something that we can all agree in this house. Every single day, you are giving back. Every single day of your life when you work for the public, and you do so legitimately and honestly, all you are doing is giving back to the community. And I do give back, and I think I have something to give back. And it is the public also that has created us, has created me, through the education, through the jobs I have had. It is the public. So we do need to give back, but I put it to the questioner that we do it every single day. Mr. Chairman, on the issue of promoting the feedlot, to the question that the honorable member had asked about the dry areas. Mm-hmm. The feedlot is one of the key solutions to that issue, because silages, hay storages, These are some of the measures that we have to be able to take in order for us to have that storage, warehousing those things, so that during a dry season, we have got at least some measure of mitigation before the rains come again. And as I said, this is something that we need to work with the county governments. Even as we talk about food security for the human beings, we also ought to talk about food security for livestock, because livestock is also part of food security. So if we had that issue of feedlot, and we say to ourselves as county governments, backed by the national government, that anytime there is, like now, when the hay is available all over the country, let's make sure that we stock up enough for a rainy day, even as we stock up, for the people who own the livestock, because sometimes their livelihoods depend are the same. On the issue of diverse food products, yes, I agree that it is time to look at even going back to some traditional crops like sorghum that we used to grow, millet that we used to have. But this is happening almost automatically because the current consumer is also becoming very aware and health conscious. So that 10 years ago, there was very little demand for millet and soya and so on. Today, that is something that is growing, and if you go to the supermarkets, is happening. But we must also remember that urbanization and lifestyle changes are also going to create different demands that have not been there. For example, rice, the demand for rice is the fastest growing in the country. Why? Because of lifestyles, because people in urban areas can cook rice a lot faster, that they can cook other foodstuffs. So we have got to adjust the farming issues in a holistic way. We have got to look at farming holistically, relating it to changing lifestyles and changing needs and consumer behavior in the country.
Thank you. We're coming to an end of your engagement with you. There is a long affidavit sent by Mr. Ura. Members have had the opportunity to look, because we shared that with the nominee. I've had an opportunity to look at your response, and I find the same substantially satisfactory. I'll now ask you a few mundane questions. What is your net worth in terms of wealth?
Mr. Chairman, my net worth currently would be around 800, I want to get the exact figure, 842 million shillings.
Made of?
Made up of essentially my wealth is in assets, is in real estate, is in pieces of land here and there accumulated over many years.
Have you ever been convicted
No, sir, I have never been
of a
convicted.
criminal offense in a court of law?
No, sir, not once.
Have you ever been adversely mentioned in a parliamentary committee?
No, sir, not to my knowledge.
Do you hold an office in a political party?
No, I do not.
Have you ever been dismissed from office or removed from office on account of contravention of Article 75 of the Constitution?
No, sir.
Have you ever been associated with practices that depict bias, favoritism, tribalism, nepotism in the discharge of public duty?
No, sir.
I'll now give you 2 minutes to make your concluding remarks to this committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I wish to take this opportunity to thank the committee for a very engaging debate on this matter. And I want to assure the committee that going forward, I look forward to working with you collaborating with you in this house, because half of the work that we are going to do, or a fair percentage of the work that we do, is collaborating with the members of the National Assembly and members of the Senate. I want to assure you that some of the issues that we have raised are issues that we are going to look at, we are going to study, we are going to execute. I have no intentions of wasting 2 years. That is a period that I have, and I will do my utmost not only to set the ministry on the right path, but also to address some of the challenges that have been bedeviling the ministry over a long period of time. I thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your indulgence.
Thank you very much. Unless you are lawfully held, you are now released to go to your other duties.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The originals of your documents, make sure you go back with them. Thank you. Have a good day.